Africa's military powerhouse. Top 10 strongest nations in 2025. Africa's got guns and tanks too. Picture this. You're sitting in Lagos, sipping chilled malt, scrolling your phone, and suddenly you see top 10 most powerful African armies. You might think, maybe Nigeria is number one. Hold up, my friend. Africa's military leaderboard is not just about who can shout the loudest or buy the most uniforms. Nope. This ranking, fresh out of the Global Firepower Index 2025, measures manpower, weapons, tech, budgets, and even geography. In simple English, if push comes to shove, these are the African countries you don't want to pick a fight with. Some have oil money fueling their tanks, some have manpower that looks like they recruited every uncle in the village, and others have tech so advanced you'd think they ordered it straight from Elon Musk's wish list. So, buckle up, because we're about to count down the top 10 most powerful countries in Africa in 2025. Spoiler alert, if you're expecting Wakanda, sorry, that one is still in Marvel. Number 10. Libya, the comeback kid. At number 10, we've got Libya, a country that has seen enough chaos to make a Netflix series, and still, here it is, flexing military muscle. With a power index of 1.4449, Libya has been quietly rebuilding its military after years of conflict and political roller coasters. Think of it like that cousin who kept getting into fights at family functions, but now shows up looking sharp in a suit. Still rough around the edges, but definitely stronger. Libya has beefed up its air and ground capabilities, and while stability remains a work in progress, you can't ignore the fact that they're climbing back into the big leagues. Funny enough, if Libya's military had a motto, it would be, fall down 7 times, get up 8 with a fighter jet. Number 9. Sudan, holding on despite the drama. In 9th place, Sudan sneaks in with a power index of 1.4756. Now, let's be real. Sudan has had its fair share of internal struggles, civil wars, coups, you name it. Yet, somehow, its military remains one of the strongest in Africa. Sudan's strength lies in resilience and a decent arsenal that still commands respect in the region. Despite political instability, the armed forces have managed to maintain structure, discipline, and enough firepower to rank among Africa's top 10. It's like watching a football team with terrible management, but players who somehow keep winning matches. Not pretty, but effective. Number 8. Democratic Republic of the Congo, the DRC, the sleeping giant. In 8th place, we have the DRC with a power index of 1.3111. Now, listen carefully. This country is massive. Geographically, strategically, and in terms of manpower, the DRC is like that tall classmate who never played basketball but could dunk without trying. Its biggest strength? Manpower reserves. With a population of over 100 million, the DRC's military can field sheer numbers that would make any neighbor nervous. Add its vast natural resources and central location, and suddenly you understand why it's called the sleeping giant. If DRC's army ever fully modernizes, let's just say everyone else in Africa will be double-checking their borders.
7. Morocco, the North African eagle. Lucky number 7 belongs to Morocco, with a power index of 1.1273. And trust me, Morocco is not here to play. This country has been investing heavily in its air force and naval power, and thanks to its close ties with NATO and Western allies, its military hardware looks like something straight out of a defense expo. Fighter jets, warships, drones, you name it, Morocco's got it. But here's the fun twist. While Morocco is busy flexing its military might, it also runs one of the most popular tourist industries in Africa. Imagine chilling in Marrakesh with mint tea, knowing just a few miles away there's a fleet of fighter jets on standby. Talk about balance. Six. Angola. Oil money and military muscle. Sliding into 6th place is Angola, clocking a power index of 1.0961. If you know Angola, you know it has oil, and with oil comes money, and with money comes shiny new weapons. Since its brutal civil war ended, Angola has built one of the most stable and respected militaries in sub-Saharan Africa. Its air force and armored divisions are no joke, and the government has kept investing steadily in modernization. Think of Angola as that friend who went through a messy breakup, civil war, hit the gym, got a new wardrobe, and now looks like $1,000,000. Only in this case, they also own tanks. Five, Ethiopia, the Horn of Africa's big brother. At number 5, Ethiopia claims its spot with a power index of 0.9305. Ethiopia has a long history of military strength, never colonized, remember? And in 2025, that tradition is still alive and kicking. This is a country whose resilience is practically written into its DNA. From defeating Italy at the Battle of Adwa back in 1896 to modern-day peacekeeping missions, Ethiopia has consistently shown it knows how to hold its ground. Ethiopian National Defense Force, ENDF, is large, battle-hardened, and always on alert, especially given the tense neighborhood it lives in, the Horn of Africa. With conflicts and political instability flaring up around its borders, Ethiopia treats military readiness as a matter of survival, not just pride. Its greatest asset, manpower. Ethiopia has one of the largest standing armies on the continent, giving it sheer numerical strength. Add to that its tough mountainous geography, which has historically acted like a natural fortress, and you understand why Ethiopia has always been so hard to conquer. If Africa's military powers were a music band, Ethiopia would be the bass guitarist. Maybe not the flashiest, but steady, reliable, and the one holding everything together with raw power and rhythm. And let's be honest, without the bass, the whole band falls apart. Simply put, Ethiopia may not have the glitziest gear, but when it comes to grit and endurance, it's built for the long haul. Four, South Africa, the tech-savvy fighter. Coming in at number 4 is South Africa, with a power index of 0.6889. Now, South Africa may not have the largest military on the continent, but what it lacks in raw numbers, it makes up for in brains, tech, and innovation. This is the country that doesn't just buy weapons, it builds them.
South Africa boasts one of the most advanced domestic defense industries in Africa, and honestly, even globally. From armored vehicles like the Ruakat to attack helicopters like the Rufok, the country produces world-class military hardware that gets exported across Africa and beyond. In fact, if African militaries were in a shopping mall, chances are half of them would be buying something stamped "Made in South Africa." But here's the catch: budget constraints. Decades of economic challenges and shifting priorities have meant that modernization sometimes moves at a slower pace than it should. Think of South Africa's military as a high-performance sports car, sleek, powerful, and impressive, but the owner occasionally struggles to keep the tank full. Still, when it comes to training, technology, and operational experience, South Africa punches well above its weight. Its military is battle-tested through regional peacekeeping missions, and its soldiers are known for discipline and professionalism. So while the budget may sometimes clip its wings, South Africa remains the tech-savvy fighter of Africa's top military powers, smart, efficient, and always capable of surprising anyone who underestimates it. Number 3, Nigeria, the giant of Africa flexes. Here's where it gets interesting. At number 3, we have Nigeria, with a power index of 0.5771. Nigeria has been stepping up big time. With Africa's largest population, one of the continent's biggest economies, and a defense budget that keeps swelling, the Nigerian armed forces are no longer just about size. They're about strategy and modernization. The country has poured resources into strengthening its military wings. From relentless counter-terrorism operations against Boko Haram and ISWAP in the northeast, to cracking down on piracy in the Gulf of Guinea, Nigeria has shown it's not just fighting battles at home, it's securing its regional backyard too. The Air Force is expanding, the Navy is patrolling the coasts with more confidence, and the Armed remains a powerhouse of sheer manpower and grit. And let's not forget Nigeria's growing international partnerships. With collaborations ranging from the US to Turkey and China, the giant of Africa is steadily boosting its military tech and training. Slowly but surely, Nigeria is shaping itself into a force that not only defends its borders, but also projects influence across West Africa. Plus, Nigerians don't joke with pride. If the military was a rap battle, Nigeria would already be dropping the mic and declaring itself #1, rankings or not. After all, this is a country where confidence is practically a national resource. Simply put, Nigeria is no longer just big, it's becoming powerful. Number 2, Algeria. Oil, tanks, and serious business. Taking the silver medal at number 2 is Algeria, with a power index of 0.3589. Algeria is the definition of a well-oiled military machine. Literally. With vast oil and gas reserves pumping money into the defense budget, Algeria has been able to buy the kind of toys that make generals grin like kids in a candy store. We're talking Russian-made tanks, advanced fighter jets, attack helicopters, and state-of-the-art missile systems. If it looks intimidating on a battlefield, chances are Algeria has at least one model parked in its arsenal. But here's the real kicker. Algeria runs one of the largest conscription systems in Africa, meaning its military is never short on fresh manpower. Combine that with rigorous training and a culture that treats defense like serious business, and you've got a force that's always battle-ready.
Strategically, Algeria also enjoys its North African location, giving it access to the Mediterranean Sea, vast desert terrain, and proximity to both Europe and the Middle East. That mix of geography, wealth, and firepower makes it one of the most balanced forces on the continent. Strong on land, dominant in the air, and steady at sea. The Algerian army doesn't joke. If militaries were FIFA ratings, Algeria would be that sneaky 4.5-star team you don't want to face online. Solid defense, lethal attack, and stamina that doesn't quit. And trust me, if they park the bus, you're not scoring a goal. 1. Egypt, the undisputed pharaoh of firepower. And now, drumroll please, at number 1, no surprises here, Egypt, with a jaw-dropping power index of 0.3427. Egypt isn't just Africa's strongest military in 2025, it's also ranked 19th globally. That means Egypt isn't playing in the neighborhood sandbox anymore. It's pulling up a chair at the same table as world heavyweights like Turkey, Germany, and even flirting with the edges of NATO-level firepower. The Egyptian armed forces are massive. A powerful army, navy, and air force, all loaded with advanced weaponry, much of it imported from the US, Russia, and Europe. Throw in billions of dollars in foreign military aid and an endless appetite for modernization, and Egypt looks less like a country and more like a military corporation with pyramids as a logo. Let's not forget, geography is on Egypt's side too. Controlling the Suez Canal, one of the most important trade routes in the world, means Egypt has both money and leverage. Every warship that cruises through that canal reminds the world just how strategically important Cairo really is. Simply put, Egypt is the pharaoh of firepower. If Africa's militaries were in a video game, Egypt wouldn't just be the final boss, it would be the DLC expansion pack that you have to pay extra for, and it still wipes the floor with you. Africa rising, but armed. So, there you have it. The top 10 most powerful militaries in Africa in 2025. From Libya's comeback story to Egypt's untouchable dominance, Africa's military landscape is evolving fast. These armies aren't just flexing for show. They're crucial in peacekeeping, counter-terrorism, and stabilizing one of the most dynamic regions in the world. Sure, they're not yet in the league of the US or China, but give it time. Africa's powerhouse nations are catching up. And let's be honest, it's also kind of comforting to know your continent can handle business if anyone comes knocking. Now over to you. Who surprised you most on this list? Did your country make the cut? Or do you think they were robbed? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more entertaining deep dives into Africa's biggest movers and shakers. Because trust me, we're just getting started.